Hey, what's up everybody? It's Stacy Storino. Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for entrepreneurs who want their content marketing to convert content consumers into paying customers. If you're starting or restarting a business as a professional coach, you've come to the right place. Now, if you're like, Stacy, the coaching world is so oversaturated. How am I going to stand out in the crowd to the point where I actually get a following big enough to where I'm actually making money by doing what I love as a professional coach with full-time type income and not hobbyist type income? Well, no worries, because that's why I created this video that'll walk you through from the perspective of a successful coach with 8 years of full-time experience as a platform building content marketing expert, how to start your coaching brand. Whenever you create content of any kind in connection with your business, even as a professional coach, you have to nail your branding in order to attract the right kind of viewer who's more likely to subscribe, more likely to opt into your email list for your freebie or coupon, and of course, more likely to buy your coaching packages and courses. But wait, before we go any further, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get the help that entrepreneurs like you need to succeed with content marketing that drives traffic to your business so that you can do more business. I recently did a video entitled How to Create a Coach Platform, and in it, I discussed some advice I'd give you if you're looking to build an online presence that will be more likely to not just reach your ideal customer, but make the right kind of first impression so that they provide to you the macro conversions you need for your business to succeed, whether you're just starting out or relaunching a coaching business. And we're not just talking about websites and blogs or no blogs and podcasts or no podcasts and why. There's a lot packed in there. So if you haven't watched that video yet, be sure to check it out. That said, let's get more into the subject of how to start your coaching brand. Now look, when you're first putting together your professional coach brand together, you have to start off with what I call your professional coach brand foundation. So where you begin when you start creating your professional coaching brand from the ground up is by creating your brand's creation story. This is something that you'll prepare in advance and then borrow from as you move forward marketing your coaching business. Through your content, you can alternatively entertain, educate, and or inspire your ideal customer. This way they get to know, like, and trust you, and therefore they'll be more likely to buy from you. People buy from those they know, like, and trust. And online education, online coaching, there may or may not be a lot of trust in that as the industry is growing, but so are all of the fakers who are turning people off. So your professional coach branding is not just about your marketing and your brand colors and such. It's all about engendering trust in the people you're meant to serve. Because if you don't do that, you can run all of the paid ad traffic you like, but you won't convert well or at all because people will be turned off and or unconvinced that they should plunk their hard-earned money down on you, your course, your services, what have you. From time to time over the course of your brand marketing content creation, as you create captions to go with posts that you'll publish to social media, in the words you write about on the about page of your website, as you talk in videos that you post on YouTube and or on Facebook, on Instagram, let's say, as you talk live to people during, let's say, a Facebook or Instagram live, or on Twitter or TikTok, well, you should sometimes share your coaching brand's creation story. What made you start being a coach in the first place, how you started, and why it's so important to you to create videos and other content to help the very specific people that you want, in your professional coaching brand community. And if people want more access to you, then they can purchase your coaching services, your course, what have you. I'm going to share with you why this is more important than you might think in a minute. Now, in fact, when you first create that creation story, that first draft of it will probably cover what many call the 5 W's and the H, or the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the start of your business. In this case, of your coaching career. It'll probably focus on your perspective and your experience in terms of getting your pro coaching platform up off the ground. And that's great. That information and your perspective is key, of course, but that's just the first draft. The second draft of your creation story must take all of that information and place another layer of perspective on top of it. And that layer is the perspective of your ideal customer or niche. If you try to put out content that appeals to everybody, well, you'll end up appealing to nobody. So the perspective of the type of audience you're trying to build, that ideal customer, should likely have a very pronounced accent mark on how you create your content, both free and paid content, to satisfy the needs and desires of your specific niche in terms of problems or challenges that they have in connection with a very particular issue. You know your ideal customer. If you've done your research, you know what they want or need, why they want it. You'll understand the psychographics of how they behave both online and offline, not just their basic rank file and serial number demographics. You know what they want more than anything, and you can create content that varies in flavor, entertainment, education, inspiration, but that always has the solution that they seek center stage. So boil that down to one main concept, that one thing that ideal customer wants, and make it clear through your creation story how you're the right coach for the job. This way, when you rewrite your professional coach brand creation story during that second draft, that 5W and H sort of material should have that one main concept baked into it throughout and have a spin on it that speaks to your ideal customer in words and or phrases and or slang that they like, jargon that they use. And your creation story should be shared in such a way that when it's told, it answers your ideal customer's most important question. What's in it for me? Because really, when someone first comes across you, whether it's on YouTube, via your website, on social media, what have you, they're not there for you. They're there for what they can get out of watching your video, reading your blog post, listening to your podcast, reading your post captions on Facebook and Instagram content, or attending your live streams and or their replays. And it's not just to watch you talk about an issue or a challenge generically, and that's that. Those days are long over. You've got to have an X factor in terms of the content you create. Otherwise, people will just keep defaulting to watching all of the A-listers whose content they're already consuming in connection with that intersecting interest that connects them and the challenge that they have to a business or coaching practice like yours. They don't need a Me Too or a cheap knockoff of an A-lister's content. For the content consumer, they're like, been there, done that. So that type of content marketing, a two-dimensional or knockoff quality, a parroting of Tony Robbins' teaching, or the functional equivalent to that, will not turn a content consumer into a paying customer of yours. So you have to get that X factor together and bake it into your branding, the very DNA of your business, because then it's easier to bake that X factor into your content marketing, your relationship marketing, your sales-based marketing, and even your paid offerings from there on out. It gets you attention, it has that stick factor, and yes, it'll get you sales. So your creation story should therefore be told not just with language that your ideal customer uses so that it resonates with them more, but there should always also be an element where you're angling or positioning your creation story so that it makes it clear that what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and so forth, all speaks to your ideal customer and what they're looking for in terms of an X Factor type branded coaching experience. And the telling of your creation story should make it clear how you're capable of or how you're going to address the specific needs of your ideal customer so that you're giving them something different and otherwise deliver to them, what they're looking for. If you're something different or have an X factor, then you're going to gain an audience because you're not otherwise trying to be Tony Robbins Jr. or Marie Forleo III, if you know what I mean. That's the thing about being in business. It's not about you, it's about them, meaning your audience of ideal customers. When you make things about you, you're treating your business like a self-centered experience. People want a little taste about you, but then everything else has to be focused on answering their question of, so what, who cares, what's in it for me? When you focus on the audience member who eventually becomes a customer that one way or another invests in your coaching packages, digital downloads, and or courses, well, that's when you're treating your business like a business and not like a hobby where you get to, through your content marketing, get up on a soapbox and whine and opine and that's it, or just talk about yourself. Who cares, right? And when you create content marketing that has your focus on the audience member and on making the connection between what makes you different and what the audience member gets out of it, then that is when you have a professional coaching brand worth investing in, because people are getting what they want and will happily support you to keep creating more of it, including paying to get more access to you and to your offerings. So there is a way in which you can tell your professional coaching creation story, which is of course about you and how you got your start, while also making it clear that your coaching brand and how it came to be is all really about them or the ideal customer at the end of the day. It's about serving your niche, your ideal customer, and how through your creation story, you're establishing how you're uniquely qualified to serve them and that you get them and their needs, right? That X factor is all about your ideal customer. It's what's the difference maker today. When you give your business's brand a backstory and a personality that also resonates with the people who are supposed to hear that backstory or creation story, then it's more likely to speak to them, interest them, and get them to take that first step down the long-term journey of building what I call the KLT factor with them, the know, like, and trust factor. Again, the more people know, like, and trust you, the more likely it is that they'll watch you, the more likely they'll support you, the more likely they'll buy from you, continue to buy from you, and remain loyal to you and to your professional coaching brand. You have a narrowed down audience that's still growing larger by the day, making you at the very least a legitimate micro-influencer, a true guru who's a thought leader in your space, not some phony looking fake guru that's parroting all the usual stuff without any X Factor branded special sauce that makes them distinctively different and totally clientele-centric simultaneously. That is the type of coaching-based influencer that today's customers want to work with more, and people are willing to pay more for products and services that are custom crafted for specific people just like them with specific problems that are just like theirs. So that's why even this first element of branding, the creation story, can't just be all about you. It has to incorporate the language, the wants, the needs, and the desires of your ideal customer or niche. If you know your niche, you've got the secret recipe for an unfair advantage over your similarly situated, but ignorant when it comes to marketing, coaching competitors, and that's how you stand out from the crowd. If you want more help in terms of distinguishing yourself from the crowd and increasing your trustworthiness in the eyes of your niche, I actually have a freebie for you to pick up called 10 Reasons Why You're Viewed as a Fake Guru and How to Gain Credibility and Customers Instead. And you can pick it up at don'tbeafakeguru.com. The link for you to score that freebie guide is in the show notes or description down below. There you have it. This is my answer when it comes to the subject of how to start your coaching brand. Need more help? Be sure to check out these two awesome videos too, because they'll teach you great content marketing strategies that can also help to blow up your business. Enjoy.